Knights of the Old Republic is among, some would argue, is the greatest Star Wars game ever made. Okay? It is a great game for two reasons. One, the story, slick. Two, the gameplay, turn-based RPG, slick. Here's the thing. We want a remake. Star Wars fans have wanted a remake for a long time. Star Wars fans have wanted more stories in the KOTOR era, right? Haven't really gotten it at all. But recently, Brett, there's been several rumors about a remake of Knights of the Old Republic in the pipeline. Okay? Now, as with all rumors, right, before they are officially announced, take it with a grain of salt. But with this story, it has come from somebody called Mr. Matty Plays, which if you are a Star Wars fan, you know that he is right almost 100% of the time. I don't know who his sources are, but he's got friends in high places.
Who is he? A YouTuber?
He's a YouTuber. He has a Twitter account. He has leaked a lot of stuff in the past, and it's basically always true.
How does he know?
He's got a source. I don't know. Similar, Corey Van Dyke, who is a Twitter Star Wars leaker person, whatever. They are kind of usually go toe for toe with this stuff, and usually if one of them says it, I pretty much believe it. But anyway, so he says that Aspyr Studios, which for those of you that don't know, are basically a studio that has done other remakes or ports, really more so, of older Star Wars games to consoles and more modern platforms. They've done Pod Racer, Star Wars Jedi Knight. I believe they've also published things like Observer and other stuff like that.
They do Bounty Hunter as well.
Yeah. So they
like those PS4 ports.
Yeah. So they've done a shit ton of games. They're a decent studio, but apparently they are developing this remake. I guess think like kind of like a Blue Point almost type thing. Okay. So that's great. I would love a remake of this game. I'd love the game again. Remaster, whatever. I want it. But some very, very, very bad news with this remake potentially.
What's that?
According to Mr. Matty Plays, this KOTOR remake is going to be doing away with the real-time, turn-based combat system that's in the original game and making it more of an action RPG.
So I'm confused here. Real-time turn-based, what does that mean? Is it real-time or is it turn-based?
It's real-time in the fact that it's not it's not like a Persona type of turn-based thing, right? Like the movement or the actions and everything resolve at the same time, right? So you make your choices and then it goes to the resolution of them. Okay.
Gotcha.
Action RPG is more like a
hack and slash.
Think of Dynasty Warriors, whatever, things like that. I don't want that. I don't want that at all. People have made the argument that that's not what made the original KOTOR great. I fucking disagree. I disagree wholeheartedly. Because like I said, there's two things that I love about the game. The story and the combat. It's super satisfying, right? And I'm a huge RPG fan in general. I prefer the more strategic, thought-based combat systems, right? If they turn this into just like a shoot 'em up, right? Or think, I don't know, something like The Witcher, where it's just, happening and you play it, that takes the pure DNA and the stakes of the original game and kind of guts them out. I think
it sounds like you'd be more so mindlessly clicking.
Yeah.
To do damage.
I think this is a terrible idea. I think from hardcore fans like myself, you are not going to win anybody over with that. And for somebody like me that's like, yeah, I want a remake of this game. I'd love to play the shit out of that. I'm not fucking playing an action RPG version of it. Why would I want that? That's not a remake then. You're creating a new game because that's not what the game is. And I have such an issue with that.
It's a reimagining, not a remake.
Yeah. And that's not to say that it won't be good either. But I'm just telling you from my perspective as a KOTOR fan of the original game, I don't want to fucking play an action-based version of it because that's not what the game is.
What if it's not a remake and it's a new game entirely, but it was just inspired by KOTOR, and it's like like a spiritual successor in a way, and that's just how they designed the combat to be. Then would you try it? Would you be cool with it?
Maybe, as long as it shares none of the same story elements.
So you're basically saying like it's just the fact that they're calling it KOTOR and it's not KOTOR.
Yes. There is that game has a very specific formative story to my fandom of Star Wars. Okay? There are engagements in that game that lend themselves to and only to turn-based combat. If you take them away, I don't fucking like you because that's not what the game is. So if you want to make a KOTOR era game, fine, but do not take the story and the elements of this game and transpose them into something that it is not, because then I have an issue with it. I think it's like, now my opinion about Resident Evil 4, if you make a remake of that game and you don't stop and shoot, then it's not Resident Evil 4. It's just not. I don't know. Whatever.
It's a good point.
It just fundamentally changed the DNA of the game.
And I'm sure people felt the same way about Resident Evil 2 and 3 when they took
You're
away
probably
the,
right.
the camera
and
angle.
I like those games, from a gameplay perspective. So you're right. I don't know. Maybe I'm being stupid, but that's just my thoughts and feelings.
No, you're entitled to that. And I honestly haven't played enough of this game to have an opinion. I actually don't even know if I've gotten into any of the combat because this does not sound like something I am familiar with. But I tried it out and I made a character. And honestly, this kind of a game, I'm down for that, regardless of if it's the turn-based or if it's more like Jedi Fallen Order, where it's like an action RPG. Mm-hmm. I don't care. I'm excited because I do want to get into this story. I do want to know more about this era of Star Wars because it is slick from what I've seen.
It's very slick. It's like Game of Thrones, but Star Wars.
Yeah.
It was kind of Game of Thrones before Game of Thrones was Game of Thrones,
Exactly.
So, and the warring houses are the Jedi and the Sith. So,
interesting.
Anyway, that's it.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Josh and Bret really need you too. I love them. So do it. It would be a shame if you miss more of their videos. Hit the notification bell too, so you know when there is a new upload.